Hi fans, welcome. It's another edition of Peter, Patter, and Perry. Of course, when people talk about the Flames and how they're going to do, the point that becomes a negative is the goaltending. With Mike Smith that you mentioned earlier, neither one really grabbed that number one deal through the course of the year. Is that a factor?
Well, I think it can be a factor, but I look at the two of them and I go, Rittich has done well against Colorado.
Yeah.
So that would be, my preference to start him because he's done well against Colorado. But Mike Smith's your guy with experience. If you go in with Rittich and you lose, does everybody think you're panicking if you put Smith in the next game? I mean, there's all those, the mental aspect of it, of your own team thinking about it. Right. But different guys play well against different teams.
Yes.
And if it happens that they match up and he plays well against Colorado again, and then the next team that you play against, maybe Mike Smith's good, has done well against them. So if you can match that could be really good. But if you're going to put them in and out and just one after another, one loses and the other guy gets in, I don't think that's going to work well for you.
If this coaching staff can create a game plan for a 7-game series against that team, it would be you shut down that first line offensively. Well, then you're going to have some success. Then you figure out best you can. They're so fast, but you figure out how do we force them to dump it in? Because if we force them to dump it in, we've got Smith. It's coming right out. Yeah. And I think if as we watch this playoff series go along, that'll be the battle. If they can get it in with control, Colorado, all right. Smith has his weakness is going to let a few bad goals in. But if they can force them to dump it in, Smith's getting that puck out, then they aren't going to have time in the zone, and I think that's going to save a lot of chances Colorado for.
Fans, don't like Smith when he goes out behind the net and handles the puck because all they remember is when he makes a bad play and it goes in. The Flames have stats that 80% of the time that he handles the puck, he makes the right play.
Wow.
Yeah, but you only remember the bad ones.
Yeah. Well, you go back in the early 80s, if your goalie came out to play the puck, you just cover your eyes on the bench and go, no, it can't be.
Yeah. That'll happen if Rittich's the goalie. Oh, yeah. He doesn't handle the puck well at all.
Thanks to one of our sponsors, Spartan Development, decorating concrete specialists. Don't settle for the ordinary. Who wants an ordinary garage? Nobody. Guys want something special, right? So kick the ugly concrete to the side. Spartan Developments is your choice.
What about the lack of respect the Flames are getting around the league? Like going into the playoffs, you had these brackets by media people, and the one that kind of stood out was watching the one on Sportsnet the other night. Nobody had the Flames beyond the second round. Then the Sun newspaper comes out with a deal today with 23 of their predictors. Only one predicted the Flames to win the Cup, and that was a local Calgary writer. And only one other had them in the Stanley Cup finals. A lot of them had them out in the second round, and some in the first round. To me, is that good? Is that a good thing from a player standpoint?
I think that's a good thing for this team right now, because then the expectation is not as great, right? Because if people are counting you out already, that just gives a little more fire in your belly to go out and play, a little harder, a little better. And
underdog is fine in the playoffs.
Way better.
Yeah. It's much more, it's easier to get up. It's easier to, if something goes bad, it's easier to go, don't worry, we're not supposed to win anyway, let's get it back. But if you got all that pressure, which this team, seriously, I don't think the Flames have any pressure on them. Like most times they've been in, they got to do something. Yes, I think they got to win at least a round here because of their successful season, but they can't take away how good that season was. So they at least got that from this year, which I in some ways, I hope they use it for themselves, positively, that they've had a good year, now let's make it better. And let's make it better and we go to that second round and then just build on that confidence and create that cadence and that this group is tight. They seem to get along. We haven't no drama. Like there's been no drama with this team at all. They've moved players in and out of the lineup, some few injuries, but very little drama. So it's a tight group.
Yeah, I really like what they have. They have got good depth. They've got good like their second, third, or fourth line could be the checking line, but they can also be a goal scoring line. Yeah. And I really like that. Now, if their first line can come through. And the one thing they're going to have to adjust to is they might not get as much ice time. Because when you're matching lines and they're putting their line out, you're going to put your checking line out against their first line. You might not, in the regular season, you're going, we might not match as much, or we got to get, Goudreau's line out and Monahan out and Lindholm out. But in the playoffs, you might be matching way more than you think. And that's what's going to help them.
How important are the fans in the Saddle Dome? The reason I bring that up, I recall a game when they were in the playoffs in 2015 and played Vancouver in the first round. In, what was the game in the Saddle? Sixth game, I think it was. They got behind 3-0, the Flames did, in the first period. And what I remember most about that was even though they were down 3-0, the crowd got on their feet and said, "Go Flames, go! Go Flames, go!" And they came back and they won that game. And I thought the players made the comeback run, but I think the fans being so encouraging they were down 3-0 was a big factor. Was that something the players could feed off?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, especially if you're an away team and you can shut the crowd down.
Yeah.
That builds you up, and then you're the home team. You're going, "Oh, what are we going to do?"
Yeah.
We got to do something. We got to get it going because when the building goes silent in the playoffs, things are not going well.
It's awful. Yeah. It is torture to be the home team and you see people leaving or people like that. That does put pressure on a team. There's no doubt. Yeah. And the seventh man being those fans. When you pay for your ticket, be a part of it and try and make a difference. It does make a difference. But hey, we should cheers to these guys.
Cheers.
Cheers to the Flames. Good
All the
run.
very best.